Creativity grows through use. Communication grows through use. Purpose grows through use. A gift that isn't used just becomes potential, but a gift that is used becomes purpose. Hello and welcome. I'm Lis Roldan, and if this is the first time that you listen to me, thank you for being here. Okay, so this is my first time creating these episodes in English. I've been having a podcast for the last 9 months, but until now, I've just been recording in Spanish. So, actually, this episode is quite dedicated to my friend Val. She's the one who motivated me to start doing it. So, I'm just here putting out myself, just kind of going through the uncomfortable because this is the only way that I could improve myself, learn the way, and be able to just share. So, this is a space where I'm just going to share from my truth, having real conversations with my everyday self, because I'm a person who is always in constant observation, questioning, asking, going deeper and deeper. And I just want to be able to share all that with you. Like I always believe that we should share more who we are, our stories, all the things that we have been through, because we are just proofs that there is so many people out there that goes to the same processes that we normally go. So why this? Why in English? This conversation actually start talking about something that is quite simple, but at the same time very complex, and is abundance. Around a year ago, I was having a meditation, and I want to share this with you because actually, this is how my podcast started. For a long time, I always related abundance with material possessions, like having more money, having more things, a bigger house, a better job. Well, all related with wealth. But then last year, that conversation changed. That mindset started to change and to go deeper because I was in a moment of my life that I was not feeling completely myself. Sometimes when we go through these processes in life, we always think that we need more. More money, more time, more freedom, more love. And we're always looking for the answer in that, like in having more. It's always outside of us, of who we are actually inside. I was in a really deep meditation, and then this question arose, and it was that if I could be completely honest, was I using everything I already have in my life? Not the external things, not the material things, but also all the skills, all these gifts that I have from the universe, from God, from life. Clearly and with honesty, the answer was no. I was not using my full potential. I knew I have skills, gifts. I have been hiding them for many reasons, but mostly because sometimes we don't believe enough in ourselves. Sometimes we are always looking for recognition. We are always trying to just fit because we don't want to be rejected. And there are so many conditioning beliefs that we have from our childhood, from our family, that they really impact the way that we just live and that we relate with life. It is quite interesting because with this question, it really allowed me to start looking deeper and to see what was there that I was not fully using. From that, there was this realization that for so many years, I always listened to different people from my clients. I'm a tattoo artist, so I've been doing this for almost 14 years. And I always have like really deep conversations with other people. And I have heard so many times people telling me, hey, like you should write a book, you should have a podcast. And yeah, I love telling stories. I love sharing. I love listening to people. I love connecting. And I love talking about really deep stuff. But, I was just so focused to do my work and to just survive that I was not really giving any space and not putting any energy out there in using all the other gifts that I have. And, like when I decided to start a podcast, that was one of my first steps towards that. Because I felt that the answer from that question as well, from that meditation, was that if I really wanted life to give me more, I really need to be in a position to completely say, like, hey, I'm ready. I already used everything I had. I've been exploring all my potential. I've been putting in service everything, everything from myself. Just then, we will be fully prepared to hold more, to receive more, to ask for more, because we are actually using it. And it's quite interesting because then I took the decision to start recording the podcast, to start sharing, and no expectations at all. Just I feel that when I share, I expand myself, I grow. Also, when I'm able to reflect myself in other people out there, to share who I am, to share my stories, my experiences, what I've been through. I've been just doing this from love. I've been through so many things in my life. I mean, the best achievement that I have in my life is feeling in peace, is feel and know that I'm building and creating a life every day that is coherent with who am I inside, with what I feel, what my thoughts are. And I'm just putting everything on everything I do. And I just want to be able to share. I've been asking myself for months why I was not feeling myself ready to start doing this in English. At the beginning, I thought that there was a part of myself that felt I wanted to do in my native language, in Spanish, because I have a lot to share. And I felt that along my life, I've met so many people that are going through really difficult moments in their life, who I felt that maybe something in myself could help them, could be the seed that they were needing to hear and to just plant something in other people that could help them. That if I changed my life, I know so many people out there can do it. But somehow it also was like a step that I took, still very connected with those limited beliefs and the way I was putting myself into a box. Not letting myself fully express, but always conditioning that I decided that I wanted to make that in Spanish only. But now I feel ready. It's not easy. It's not easy to put yourself out there. It's not easy to sometimes start just exposing who you are. But there is something really deep in myself that really wants to do it. So, yeah, I mean, this is just a natural step I feel in the process, and I'm just very happy to do it. So, this is an invitation also for yourself. Do you feel that you are using everything that life has already given you? Like sometimes we have so many natural talents. I'm pretty sure we all have like different things that we could be doing even for free. I mean, I remember 10 years ago, I used to have a travel blog when there was not like all this social media and everything. It was just starting. I really enjoy it. Just write and tell stories and share experiences. What you get from this, like the reward from just start exploring all the gifts that you have. Very difficult to describe it, but it's just like this feeling of expansion, and it's just complete abundance. And sometimes when we think about scarcity, we feel mostly about material things. But scarcity can sound also like we don't have enough time, that we are not talented enough, that we are not good enough, that we need more experience, that we need more confidence. All these different faces and different masks that scarcity can have. And sometimes we don't realize that. We are just always waiting for more. And I always said that it's like we put our life on hold. It's like going to the doctor and be in this waiting room. And we are sometimes in that waiting room for so long, just waiting for something extraordinary to happen, just waiting that out of the blue something happens, and that all these things that we feel that we are missing in order to be able to do something will be ready. Of course, it doesn't happen that way. I mean, like everything in our life needs to be used in order for it to be expanded. It's just like when we start a sport. I've been running for like 13, 14 years. It doesn't matter how long I've been running. If I stop for a month, I feel it. I feel how my body changes, how my strength changes, how my endurance changes. So it needs to be used in order to grow, to improve. And that's for everything. I mean, our gifts work the same way. Creativity grows through use, communication grows through use, purpose grows through use. A gift that isn't used just becomes potential, but a gift that is used becomes purpose. By the same time that I was doing like this meditation and that this question came to me, because I was going through a really like hard time, and I just moved from countries, and I was going through different like financial crisis and purpose crisis and different things. So I was starting to see everything so negative in that moment that I really needed a change. So I started a lot like reading about manifestation and different authors like Joe Dispenza and others. But then like I realized that when I started to do like different exercises to connect myself like with higher energies and to the life I wanted to create and my future and everything. At the beginning, it was mostly about material things. Like, okay, I need a better house, I need more money, I need more time, we need a car, and all these things that I was thinking that we were missing in order to improve our life and our situation. But it is very interesting because after like some time of like really meditating and doing the work and going deeper and deeper and deeper, I started to realize that the goal started to change, that I stopped thinking about all these material things, and actually it became more like a state of consciousness, of mind, of living. So I realized that I didn't really want the house. I wanted to feel safe, to feel secure in what I was doing and living. So that I didn't wanted the money just because of the money, but I wanted the peace. I wanted a space where I could create because I wanted freedom, possibility, trust. I wanted to stop living from fear. And that was a completely different thing, that only thinking that I needed more money, more possessions, and different other things in order to be in a better moment of my life. So when we start asking all those things, we can really like go deeper and observe in ourselves what are actually those parts in our lives that are kind of like shooting, screaming for more space in our life, for more energy. Because sometimes we have so many gifts and skills, and we are so abundant, but we take so many things for granted just because maybe they are easy for us, because we are just so used to have them in our lives that we don't realize that they are special, that they are unique, that there are not so many people out there that maybe have those skills that we do. It's just a thing of trust in ourselves. Like most of the time in our lives, we are always looking for answers outside of ourselves, outside of who we are. So we are always looking for recognition, for validation, to be accepted, to fit. And we became people please and start sabotaging ourselves. Like we don't really care of our well-being because we are always putting other people before us. And that make us to be completely disconnected from our own power, from our intuition, from our inner map, where we already have those answers. Because we don't trust us enough, because we believe that most of the time there is someone out there that is more intelligent than us, that is wiser than us, that makes better decisions than we do. And sometimes it is very close people like our partners or our parents. And so we are always giving our power away. And that also is one of the reasons why sometimes we are just giving and putting our lives in situations and that don't make us completely fulfilled because we feel that there is always something missing. But the answer won't come from outside. That piece that you feel there is missing is already inside. For myself, in these last months, the last 9 months, almost a year, that I've been kind of exploring my voice, connecting with this gift that is my communication and my abilities for telling stories and different things. I mean, this is my first episode, so don't judge me so hard for this one, please. You will see that with each episode I will become better. It's just like this one is something completely new for me, and when I'm nervous sometimes I don't speak that well. But yeah, I'll become better, trust me. But yeah, the thing is that sometimes we need just to start trusting ourselves more. The answer is always there. It's the way also that we change the focus and our perspective. And when we become kind of like wider in our perspective, we start seeing more opportunities. We start seeing more blessings that they have always been there. But just because we were like this all the time, like always kind of like with two walls around our eyes, we don't see what's around. But all the opportunities have always been there, and all those amazing skills that we have, they have always been there. And especially in these hard seasons that we go in our lives, and all the trauma that sometimes we carry, unconscious beliefs, there's so many hidden gifts that I call them superpowers. We have so many superpowers, so many. We need to start using them more or embracing them more because that's the way that life will bring more into our lives, that we will be able to hold a bigger channel also, to be in service, to serve other beings, and just to connect with love. And I think that's the main purpose for everything. When I was a child, I grew up in an environment with my grandma and family around that they never spoke about anything. Like silence was the rule, silence was survival. And I grew up that way. I wasn't able to speak up for myself. For many years, I was so people pleasant, always just trying to fit and caring so much on myself with all the things that I never shared to anyone. So, this podcast, being able to do this, is also part of my healing process. I mean, now that you are listening to me, you are also listening to my transformation. That is just myself opening up, putting everything I have out there, no expectations, just believing that there is a higher purpose for everything we are in life. And I finally stopped asking if I was ready or not. I'm just doing it with fear and with whatever is there. But I'm just so happy to be able to do it. So I just want to leave you with a few questions to ask yourself that maybe also will take you a step forward in your process. And just ask yourself, like, what comes naturally to you? What are those things that you will even do and put out there, even if it's for free? What part of yourself are you still hiding? What gift keeps asking to be expressed? And what if the answer isn't more, but actually just go deeper? Yes, I truly believe that abundance in our life starts with what we already are, and that once we start living from our full potential, we will be completely ready to ask and receive more. So that's my invitation from this first episode in English. To ask yourself what is there waiting for you to start using and to start living from your full potential. Because when we open ourselves to explore, to share, we just grow and expand, and we create this for everybody around us to be able to also grow and expand and share. So thank you for listening. This is a very important step for myself. So I'm very happy to be doing right now this. Bye.